Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real today. Life is not about what happens to you. It's about how you respond to what happens. Every single day, challenges are coming, problems are coming. People are going to test you, situations will push you, and life will shake you up. But the real strength of a man or woman is not found in how loud they can yell or how fast they can react. It's found in the calmness of the mind. Calmness is strength, not weakness. Control your mind before reacting. This is one of the most powerful truths you will ever understand in life. The world often makes us believe that being loud, aggressive, or quick to respond is a sign of power. People assume that raising your voice or showing your anger proves dominance. But in reality, true power is in restraint. Real strength is measured by how much control you have over yourself, not how much control you try to have over others. When you are calm, you are not weak. You are showing that nothing outside of you is strong enough to disturb the balance within you. Think about the people you admire most in moments of crisis. They are not the ones screaming or panicking. They are the ones who stay collected, the ones who assess the situation, and the ones who make wise choices, even when everything around them is falling apart. Calmness gives you clarity. When your mind is storming with uncontrolled emotions, you don't think logically. You react based on impulse. That impulse often leads to regret. Words are spoken that should have been left unsaid. Actions are taken that cannot be reversed. But when you stay calm, you give yourself the chance to choose the best response instead of the quickest reaction. Calmness is not about being passive or ignoring problems. It's about facing them with composure. For example, when someone insults you or tries to provoke you, the easy thing is to snap back. But that shows they have power over your emotions. It means they control your mood. On the other hand, when you stay calm, you take back your power. You're sending a message that no matter what comes your way, you are the one in charge of your feelings. That is real strength. Life will always test you. Whether it's financial struggles, relationship challenges, workplace conflicts, or unexpected setbacks, situations will arise that try to shake you. And every time you allow yourself to lose your calm, you drain energy that could have been used to solve the problem. Calmness preserves your energy. It keeps your focus sharp. It gives you the ability to look beyond the immediate situation and see the bigger picture. Some of the most successful people in history were not the loudest or most aggressive, but the calmest under pressure. They had the ability to think when others froze. They had the courage to stay patient when others rushed. They understood that storms are temporary, but the damage caused by rash reactions can be permanent. By keeping calm, they position themselves as leaders. People naturally follow those who don't lose control in hard times because calmness inspires trust. Training your mind to be calm doesn't happen overnight. It requires discipline. It requires practice. It requires catching yourself in the moment when anger is rising or fear is creeping in. Instead of letting those emotions spill out, you take a breath, you pause, and you remind yourself that reacting emotionally gives away your strength. Calmness is like a shield. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. Soon, you reach a point where what used to shake you no longer moves you. That is when you begin to operate on a higher level. In relationships, calmness avoids unnecessary fights and misunderstandings. In business, calmness allows for wise decisions even under pressure. In personal growth, calmness helps you stay consistent instead of quitting when things don't go your way. In every area of life, calmness protects your peace and guides you toward better outcomes. People may mistake your calmness for weakness, but that's because they don't understand the discipline it takes to remain composed when chaos surrounds you. Anyone can get angry. Anyone can lose control. but only the truly strong can remain calm. Calmness is not the absence of emotion. It is the mastery of it. It is choosing to respond instead of react. It is deciding that no person, no problem, and no circumstance is worth stealing your inner peace. When you learn to control your mind before reacting, you unlock a level of strength that sets you apart from the rest. You stop being a prisoner of your emotions and instead become the master of your action. And in that mastery lies the kind of power that cannot be shaken by the storms of life. Emotional reactions lead to mistakes. Calmness leads to solutions. This is one of the hardest lessons people learn because we live in a world where reacting instantly feels natural. When someone disrespects us, our first instinct is to clap back. When life throws an obstacle in our way, our first impulse is to complain, worry, or panic. But those emotional reactions often make things worse. They cloud our judgment and push us to act in ways that don't serve our best interest. It's easy to let anger, fear, or frustration take over. But when they do, we lose the ability to think clearly. That's when poor choices are made, opportunities are missed, and relationships are damaged. Calmness, on the other hand, clears the fog. It gives the mind space to evaluate what's really happening and how to handle it. Think about a firefighter running into a burning building. If that firefighter panic, they put their life and others at risk. But when they remain calm, even in the middle of chaos, they can assess the danger and act in a way that saves lives. That's the power of calmness. It doesn't remove the problem, but it gives you the ability to find the best solution. When we react emotionally, we often exaggerate situations in our minds. A small problem feels like the end of the world. A minor insult feels like a personal attack on our worth. A single mistake feels like total failure. But when you're calm, you see things for what they are. Not bigger, not smaller, just real. This perspective allows you to break the problem down into manageable pieces instead of being overwhelmed by the whole weight of it. Calmness is not running away from reality. It is meeting reality with the right mindset. Consider arguments in relationships. When both people are emotional, words fly, they cut deep, and those words can't be taken back. But when one person chooses calmness, the tone shifts. Instead of fueling the fire, calmness diffuses it. It creates the possibility for real communication, understanding, and solutions. In business, the same principle applies. A leader who reacts emotionally to setbacks loses the confidence of their team, but a leader who stays calm, even in tough times, inspires trust and motivates others to keep moving forward. Calmness has the power to transform not just outcomes, but also the energy around you. Training yourself to choose calmness over emotional reactions takes intentional effort. The mind naturally wants to react quickly because quick reactions feel like defense. But the truth is, those defenses usually protect your pride, not your progress. Calmness may feel slow in the moment, but it moves you faster toward real answers. Instead of rushing into a bad decision, calmness lets you pause, think, and act with purpose. That pause is where wisdom lives. That pause is where the solution is found. When you cultivate calmness, you become a problem solver instead of a problem creator. You no longer waste time fixing the damage caused by impulsive reactions. Instead, you spend your energy on building solutions that move you forward. People will notice this about you. They'll see that you don't get easily shaken, that you don't explode under pressure, that you keep your head when everyone else is losing theirs. And because of that, they'll come to trust you, respect you, and even look to you for guidance. Calmness doesn't mean you don't feel emotions. It means you master them. It means you let the emotion come, but you don't let it drive the car. You acknowledge it, you breathe through it, and you choose to respond in a way that aligns with your goals, not your impulses. Over time, this practice rewires the way you think and behave. Instead of being reactive, you become proactive. Instead of living in regret from rash decisions, you begin living in the reward of wise choices. And all of this begins with one decision: to value calmness over emotional reactions, because calmness is where real solutions live. Staying calm in storms makes you a leader when others panic. Life is full of storms, unexpected challenges, painful losses, financial struggles, broken relationships, health problems, and setbacks that seem to arrive at the worst possible times. Most people, when storms come, give in to fear, anger, or despair. They panic, they lose focus, and they allow the chaos of the situation to dictate their action. But leadership is born in those very moments. A true leader is not the person who controls everything around them, but the one who controls themselves when everything around them is out of control. Calmness in the middle of a storm is what sets a leader apart from the crowd. When others panic, they look for someone who is steady. They want someone who can see beyond the immediate crisis and guide them to a safer place. That person is always the one who stays calm. Think of a captain steering a ship in the middle of violent waves. If the captain loses control and panics, everyone on board feels the fear and the situation becomes worse. But if the captain holds firm, gives clear directions, and makes rational choices, the crew follows with confidence. Calmness creates trust, and trust makes leadership possible. In everyday life, storms appear in many forms. At work, a sudden problem with a project can throw a team into stress. In families, conflicts and disappointments can make emotions run high. In personal growth, unexpected failures can shake confidence. In all these moments, people naturally follow the one who doesn't break under pressure. That calm individual becomes the anchor everyone else needs. Without even asking for the role, calmness gives them leadership. Calmness doesn't remove the storm, but it allows you to navigate it. When panic spreads, mistakes multiply. People rush decisions, overlook solutions, and sometimes even make the problem worse. A calm leader thinks differently. They slow down enough to see options others can't see. They evaluate instead of reacting. They provide reassurance to those who are afraid. Their presence alone can shift the energy of the group, because calmness is contagious, just like panic is contagious. When one person panics, others begin to panic. But when one person remains calm, others begin to calm down too. Leadership is not always about titles or positions. It is about influence. Influence is strongest in hard times. Anyone can lead when things are easy, when the path is clear, and when success is guaranteed. But real leadership shows up when the storm arrives. That is when people decide who they can trust and who they cannot. Calmness proves reliability. It shows you are not ruled by emotion or fear, but by wisdom and clarity. People want to follow someone who has the strength to remain steady in chaos. Building this level of calmness requires self-discipline. It requires emotional control and the ability to separate what is within your control from what is not. Storms often bring things we cannot change, and panic comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. Calm leaders understand that their power lies in focusing only on what they can do. Instead of wasting time blaming, complaining, or fearing the outcome, they act on what is possible in the moment. This focus allows them to turn challenges into opportunities and setbacks into stepping stones. In personal life, when storms hit, calmness gives you the ability to lead yourself first before leading anyone else. It allows you to keep your family strong in tough times, to reassure loved ones when they are afraid, and to make decisions that protect their future. In careers, calmness makes you the person people depend on when a crisis hits. Instead of being overlooked, You are seen as someone who can carry responsibility. That trust often leads to growth and opportunities you would not receive otherwise. A storm will always reveal who is calm enough to lead and who is not. Panic exposes weakness, but calmness highlights strength. When others are losing themselves, the one who remains steady becomes the guiding light. This doesn't mean they have all the answers, but it does mean they can think clearly enough to find them. And that ability, more than anything else, is what makes a leader in times of chaos. Calmness is a daily practice like building a muscle. Just like you cannot expect to grow stronger physically without consistent exercise, you cannot expect to become mentally steady without regular training of your thoughts and emotions. Many people want peace of mind, but they think it should come naturally, without effort. They believe calmness will arrive only when life becomes easier, but the truth is, life never stops throwing challenges. And if you wait for calmness to appear on its own, you will never have it. Calmness is built through small daily habits, repeated over and over, until they reshape the way you respond to the world. A mind works like a muscle. If you constantly feed it with negativity, impatience, and quick reactions, it will naturally become restless and weak. But if you train it with patience, discipline, and perspective, it will grow stronger. Every situation you face is an opportunity to practice. When someone cuts you off in traffic, you can either explode in anger or you can use it as a moment to practice calmness. When someone criticizes you unfairly, you can either attack back or you can choose to pause, breathe, and respond with clarity. These little choices are your training sessions. They might feel insignificant at the time, but just like a single workout, they add up to long-term strength. Consistency is what transforms your ability to stay calm. You don't go to the gym once and expect to be fit for life. You don't meditate one day and expect to have peace forever. Calmness is built in layers, day after day, until it becomes a natural part of who you are. At first, you might find yourself failing often. You might lose your temper, get impatient, or allow stress to overwhelm you. But every time you catch yourself and bring your focus back to calmness, you are getting stronger. The slip-ups are not proof of weakness. They are part of the growth process. Just like muscles tear and rebuild stronger after resistance, your calmness grows each time you push back against emotional impulses. Daily practice also means being intentional about what you feed your mind. Just as an athlete fuels their body with the right food, you must fuel your thoughts with the right inputs. You constantly consume drama, negativity, and arguments, your mind will stay restless. But if you expose yourself to uplifting ideas, positive voices, and inner reflection, you will create an environment where calmness can thrive. Surrounding yourself with people who are calm and steady also strengthens your practice because energy is contagious. You begin to mirror the behavior you see most often. Patience plays a central role in this practice. Calmness is not about ignoring your emotions, but about giving them space to pass without letting them control you. When you feel anger rise, patience is the pause that allows it to lose its grip. When you feel fear creeping in, patience is the reminder that storms do not last forever. Practicing patience every day, even in small things like waiting in line or dealing with delays, trains your mind to remain unshaken when bigger storms arrive. Another part of building this muscle is self-awareness. You cannot strengthen what you do not notice. Pay attention to your triggers. Notice the situations where you are most likely to lose your calm. It could be at work, in traffic, with family, or in financial stress. These are your workout areas. Every time they appear, treat them as chances to practice. Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? Shift your mindset to this is my training ground. With this perspective, life itself becomes your gym, and every challenge is a weight you are lifting to grow stronger. Over time, this practice shapes your identity. Calmness stops being something you try to do and becomes something you are. People will notice it in you. They will see that you don't get rattled easily, that you don't let small problems throw you off balance, and that you carry yourself with steadiness no matter what. And as with any muscle, the stronger it becomes, the more it supports you in every area of your life. Calmness practiced daily will not only help you face storms, but also help you enjoy peace in ordinary moments, making life richer and more meaningful. Protect your peace. It's more valuable than opinions or setbacks. Peace of mind is one of the greatest treasures a person can have, yet most people give it away too easily. They let other people's opinions, negativity, and temporary problems rob them of inner calm. What many fail to realize is that peace is not something handed to you by the outside world. It is something you protect and guard from within. When you truly value your peace, you begin to understand that no argument, no insult, and no setback is worth losing it. Peace is what allows you to think clearly, to rest deeply, to love fully, and to live with strength. Without peace, even success feels empty, but with peace, even struggles feel manageable. Every day you are faced with situations that try to steal your peace. Someone may criticize you unfairly, a coworker may frustrate you, a family member may disappoint you, or life may throw an unexpected challenge in your path. In those moments, the real battle is not with the situation, but with your reaction to it. The question becomes, do you allow this to enter your spirit, or do you guard your peace and keep your mind steady? Too often, people hand over their peace without even realizing it. They let small things disturb their inner world, and by doing so, they give power to things that don't deserve it. Protecting your peace requires a shift in mindset. You have to stop believing that everyone's opinion of you matters. The truth is, no matter what you do, people will talk. Some will cheer for you, some will criticize you, and some will misunderstand you completely. If you let every opinion shake you, you will live your whole life unsettled. But when you decide that your peace is more important than being liked or understood, you free yourself from the chains of outside judgment. You realize that the only opinions that matter are the ones aligned with your values and your purpose. Setbacks also challenge your peace. When things don't go your way, when your plans fail, or when life delays your dreams, it is natural to feel frustrated. But if you allow every setback to break your spirit, you will never move forward. Protecting your peace in the face of setbacks means reminding yourself that failure is not final and delay is not denial. It means holding on to faith that what is meant for you will not pass you by, and using every obstacle as an opportunity to grow strong. When you protect your peace during setbacks, you stop problems from defining you and instead use them to refine you. Boundaries are another powerful way to protect your peace. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Some people bring negativity, drama, or constant criticism. And if you allow them unlimited influence in your life, your peace will always be under attack. Learning to set boundaries is not selfish, it is necessary. It is saying, I care about my well-being enough to limit what drains me. Protecting your peace may mean saying no more often, distancing yourself from toxic environments, or surrounding yourself with people who uplift rather than tear down. Practicing gratitude also shields your peace. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, your mind becomes calmer. Gratitude shifts your perspective from problems to blessings, from stress to appreciation. Even in hard times, there's always something to be thankful for. And this mindset creates a natural barrier against negativity. Gratitude and peace work together, feeding each other and strengthening your resilience. Peace is not passive. It is active protection of your spirit against anything that tries to disturb it. You must make intentional choices each day to guard it, whether that means stepping away from conflict, choosing silence over arguing, or simply taking time to rest and recharge. Your peace is your power, and when you learn to value it above opinions and setbacks, you begin to live with a calm strength that cannot be shaken by outside noise. Stay there. People may not understand it, but they will feel it. They will notice that you do not react like everyone else, that you are steady even in chaos, and that nothing small or temporary has the power to destroy your inner calm. The calmest person in the room is always the most powerful. Power is often mistaken for the loudest voice, the strongest presence, or the most aggressive attitude. Many people think that showing dominance means controlling others, raising their voice, or being the center of attention. But real power does not come from noise or force. It comes from control over oneself. When you walk into a room and remain calm no matter what energy is around you, you show a level of strength that cannot be faked. Calmness is influence because it shifts the atmosphere without demanding it. People are naturally drawn to those who are steady in the middle of tension. In situations of stress or conflict, most people allow emotions to take over. They speak without thinking, act without considering, and lose control of their behavior. The calmest person stands apart because they do the opposite. They think before speaking, they pause before acting, and they maintain control of their emotions even when others cannot. This calmness makes them powerful because they are not controlled by the environment, but instead influenced it. Others begin to look to them for stability and guidance, even without them asking for it. Power through calmness is not about dominance. It is about presence. When you see someone unshaken by pressure, it creates respect. Calmness communicates confidence without arrogance. It says, I know who I am, and I will not let this situation control me. This silent confidence often speaks louder than shouting ever could. People may argue, get heated, or lose themselves in chaos, but the one who remains calm ends up leading the direction of the moment. Calmness is not weakness, it is strength under full control. This principle applies everywhere, in workplaces, in families, in friendships, and in moments of crisis. At work, when problems arise and emotions run high, the calmest person becomes the problem solver. Their ability to stay clear-minded earns them respect and trust. In families, when conflicts or difficulties appear, the calmest person becomes the anchor everyone else depends on. In social situations, when tension rises, the calmest person sets the tone that everyone else eventually follows. Calmness has a magnetic effect. People naturally align themselves with the energy that feels steady and strong. Being the calmest person in the room also gives you the advantage of awareness. While others are too busy reacting, you are observing. You see what others miss, you hear what others overlook, and you notice opportunities others are too distracted to catch. Calmness sharpens your vision and expands your understanding. That awareness gives you power because it allows you to make smarter choices while everyone else is blinded by emotions. To develop this kind of calmness, you must train yourself to detach from the noise of the moment. Instead of matching the energy of the room, you set your own. You don't allow the shouting, complaining, or negativity around you to control how you feel. Instead, you remind yourself that true strength lies in composure. This doesn't mean you stay silent all the time. It means when you do speak, your words carry more weight because they are measured, intentional, and not fueled by uncontrolled emotions. People listen more closely to the one who speaks calmly than to the one who yells, because calmness carries authority. This calm power also protects your peace. When you are calm, you are not easily manipulated. Others cannot provoke you into saying or doing things you don't mean. You hold your ground, and in doing so, you gain respect, even from those who may disagree with you. Calmness gives you the ability to face challenges without being shaken and to walk away from unnecessary battles without losing dignity. It is not about winning arguments. It is about mastering yourself. When you practice being the calmest person in the room, you realize that real influence is not about overpowering others, but about outlasting the storm with steady strength. Noise fades, tempers cool, and chaos eventually settles, but calmness remains. That consistency makes people remember you, respect you, and trust you. The calmest person in the room holds the greatest power because they carry within them the strength that no storm can shake and no conflict can break.